All right, so today we're going to be returning back to the DOM and dealing with websites directly. Like we're not doing this with SVGs. We're not drawing to the canvas element. Instead of applying these concepts, we're like, well, let's just work with the web page itself. And so for Web3, what I want you to be able to do is just have the stuff ready to go, right? So we're continuing our portfolio from Web 1, and we're looking at, well, what can we add to our portfolio, right? Not just the portfolio page, but our website. So if I could rephrase that, I was saying, like, what are we adding to our websites that we didn't have there in Web 1? So a good way to do that is, first off, I'm gonna share the screen here. Let's see here. All right, are we looking at the same screen here? What do you see? A whole bunch of code? See me closing stuff quickly?
Oh, I see your web browser open on the Notion page.
Oh, thank you. Should be going there. Okay, good. So really what this comes down to is every time we go to the CodePen homepage, right, there's something that I've been teasing since Web 1. Okay, ooh, we can make that with, what's it called? GreenSock. I just forgot the name for a second. Every time we go to the CodePen homepage, there's this thing called topic, and there's this thing called UI patterns, right? And you remember me talking about this earlier in the quarter, and these are just common UI patterns, okay? User interface patterns. And as a designer, we need to be able to look at these in two ways. The first way is this a good use of, is this a good solution? Is this a good pattern for my problem, right? So let's take tabs, for example, here. Okay. So you're taking this tabs, for example, and here is a tabs example right here. And right, so this is, right, take away all of the visual styling, take away all of the animation and interaction, okay? Because right now we're in the concepts part of class, right, where we need to ask ourselves, is this a good solution? Well, good solution for what? All right, so let's say this is your bank. You're going into your bank to get account information, okay? And right over here, instead of saying Madrid, okay, so this is your default, and you come into here, and this right here is account balance. Is that a good way? Right, whoops. I don't want to say this pinned to my account. Is this a good way to present the same information? What about if this was an essay? Let's say this is your thesis to get a doctorate degree. Is this a good way? Is that a good way to present this information? Designers? Come on, designers. I know it's early. Yes or no? I'm gonna just drink my lukewarm coffee until someone has a solution. Just a good way to,
I mean, isn't design just a matter of opinion?
No, everyone has opinions. All
Exactly.
opinions sound loosely held, right? You're not getting a 4-year degree because you have opinions, right? This isn't the Department of Opinions. This isn't visual communication opinions. Is this how you want to read a book?
No.
No, great. There you go. So now that you have that figured out, right? What is this a good? What is this a now? What is this? What if this was my address book, right? This is my mom, my dad, right? My little brother, my sister. Is this a good way to present that information? If all the information was their name and like their phone number. Yes, I still call people by phone. Is this a good way to present that information?
Sure.
Okay, that's exactly what I'm trying to get at. I know it's early in the morning, and I feel like I'm pulling teeth here, but what we need to do, okay, is be able to take a look at all these design patterns, like right here. We're going to leave this page, okay, under topics, and say this is what we're using Web3. Okay, it's like, well, what is good and bad? What are the pros and cons? Because there is no solution. Did y'all hear that? That was very loud. Phone call came in. Notice I said phone call. Okay. These are all UI patterns. Right? And what we need to say to ourselves is, what is a good and a bad way to present the same information? Okay, and all these are solutions. Today we're going to be looking at sliders. Hopefully, if we have time, and we're going to be taking a look at, well, let's just get started on that. Okay, this will make sense. Okay, all right. All right, let's see here. Let's take the first one here. Let's take the view switcher. All right. So from the course page, let's go ahead and take a look at the view switcher. Okay. All right. So this is pulled from previous classes, but again, right, this is what we're just talking about. All these are common user interface patterns, like all these long form patterns. And what I don't want you to get lost on right here is how to make it. The first place I want you to start, and why I'm spending 5 minutes on this, is this a good solution to your problem? Okay. I don't think anybody, right? What's a good solution to a progress bar? Well, it lets the user know that's good, right? Pro, it's good visual feedback to let the user know the progress and the state of anything. Con, no one likes watching this, right? And there is no solution. There are trade-offs. Okay. This is not what you want to see when you're waiting for your account balance. This is not what you want to see when you're waiting for a contact list. There's some pieces of information that you want immediately. Okay. And this is not, in a loader isn't what you want to see. So the same thing here of view switcher. Okay. So down here where it says dark mode. Okay. I've had view switchers on things for a very long time, and long before we had dark mode on devices, right? Light mode, dark mode, we had this same concept for just changing list views. If you go into Amazon, there's the grid view and the list view, correct? Okay. And what we're trying to do right now is, let me get this out of your way here, right, is we're taking the same old idea and we're reapplying it. All right, Colin, enough talking. Let's go make this thing. All right, let's go make this thing now. Let's go into the pen and let's make it. I feel like I'm losing you here. All right, let's get into our Web2 pen, and we're going to be working with what's called JavaScript libraries. Okay. So we have lots and lots of view switchers, and if I went to the CodePen homepage here, and I search for grid view, list view, this was the one that we used to do. And this is what we would do with view switcher. I also had a view switcher on a client website that showed the accessible version. Right, it took away a lot of the visual styling, and took away all of the animation, and just was a very, very very straightforward design. And you can come to the site and you can choose that option. Well, this is the same thing here. So that light mode, dark mode is the same thing that's happening here. Give me a grid view, right, with an abbreviated cards, or give me this view, right, with more information. And this is a common UI pattern. And in 2020, 2019, now it's become light mode, dark mode. Okay. So what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and make this light mode, dark mode. And I would rather, I know you all don't want me to, but I would rather hang out with the conceptual part of this. And this idea of what can we do with this concept. And right in 2020, it's light mode, dark mode. Previously, it was grid view, list view, right? Right before that, it was low fidelity, high fidelity version, and you let the users pick and choose what version of your website. But y'all don't do that anymore. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into our pen there. Okay, and I'm talking so much about this, and I keep coming back to it because I want you to have the same mindset and evaluate all of the solutions I give you. Don't just put it in there because you can get it working. Put it in there because it's the best solution, right, for your problem. I can't stress that enough. Okay. All right. So button, do stuff. Okay. All right. So we have a button that does stuff, and we have a target here with a paragraph. Okay. And really what we're working on is this trigger and target. So what I'm going to be teaching you right now is conceptually this thing that is you can reapply everywhere. Like adding and removing classes are going to be along with absolute relative parent, absolute child, right? Being able to toggle classes on and off is just a piece of code that you're just going to be reusing over and over again. It's very, very useful. All right, so we have some basic HTML here. And what we want to do is take this and we're just going to add stuff, right? So go orange or go coral. Okay. And so now we have this class here called Go Coral, and we're going to make it Go Coral. And what we're going to be able to, what we want our users to do is when we click that button, it's going to add this class of what? Go Coral. Okay. Good. And then when we click that button again, it's gonna JavaScript's gonna come in here and manually do what? Remove this class of Go Coral, right? So like I've been repeating all quarter long. Okay, if we can't do it manually, JavaScript has it. JavaScript which won't have a shot. JavaScript just won't understand what's happening. All right, let me know that you understand what we're trying to do, right? What I'm doing manually is what I'm asking JavaScript to automate. Okay, do this first part. I cannot stress to you enough. You will spend hours messing with JavaScript's verbose syntax, right? And really what you want to be able to do is just get this part working. Okay, so we know there's a class there. Okay, we're gonna toggle that class. Okay, all right. So now let's get into JavaScript and make this thing go. Okay, so essentially we're gonna do something very similar to this. All right. So first thing we need to do is have some variables for our trigger and our target, right? So just like in our animations, right, we have something that's going to trigger our animation, and we're going to have the resulting target of those animations. Okay. All right, so we're going to, let me pin this tab. We're going to store this, okay, in some variables here. So, right, and these aren't going to change. Our triggers aren't going to change in this case, and our targets aren't going to change, right? And you can always just stop there, okay. Good, no errors. Okay, well, it's giving me an error, but we'll deal with that. Okay, slowly work through this. Okay, let's take as I not slowly work through it. Okay, this is where we're going to store our variables. All right, I'm going to close up the JavaScript, the CSS and the HTML because we got that all figured out. Okay. Here, I'll leave it open just enough so you can add stuff to it. All right, then we're going to say, hey, JavaScript, wake up, go get my document, right, and look for this thing called button. Okay. So again, we don't need to run this whole console.log. So we're going to assign this trigger to the document itself. Okay. And good place to start is to actually do this. Yes, all the time, right? I have this automated. Okay? And that's what this little thing in the bottom right hand corner pops up and says, hey, these are just warnings. Okay, like get rid of your warnings. Okay, we're gonna grab this document and what are we gonna get, right? We're gonna get, what am I using? Oh, query selector. All right, so you'll see this a lot. Get element by tag name, get element by class name, get element by ID, get element by name. Name is actual element, in this case it's button, and the other element would be paragraph. ES6 came along and said, this is very verbose, right? It's like a column lecture, a lot of words. Okay, too many words, just get to it. Okay. So query selector is now used more often. Okay. And you've seen this in your homework. Okay. So we don't want all of the buttons. We just want one specific button to click on. So we're going to use this query selector here. Okay. Right. And that's a method. Okay. So grab the entirety of my document, right? And inside that document, run this action, run this method, right? Do this verb. So the document is a noun. Okay. Verb, right? In this case, we're going to go ahead and get button. Right. And a good way to do this is now, right, check your work. All right, we're going ahead and console.log what? Okay, because I want to know what trigger actually is. Okay, and again, trigger is a named variable now, a named constant. And if we take a look at this in our debug mode, right, we can see this. Don't worry, the next classes will go much quicker because I don't have to talk about the concepts, but here we go, right? So now we know the trigger is this button. Okay, inside of trigger, right, we're going to do this one more time. There is a text content node here called do stuff. Right? We can change. This is all the stuff that we can change about the button. Right? This is everything inside of the button node. Heck, we can even change the node itself. So we have this text content here called do stuff, and that is a property. Okay. Good. And then if we came in here and do, let's see here, text, capital C content. This is exactly what we're going to be doing in Web3, just traversing the node, right? This should say what? If I take a look at my console now, right? This should only say do stuff. Okay. And heck, we can even go in and reassign that if we wanted to. Okay, Colin, you've already done this example, just get to it. Colin keeps repeating himself. Good? Thumbs? With me on this? Okay, this part shouldn't trip you up. This is why I keep repeating myself. Like, this part should be like straightforward, this part. I should be able to ask you to pick anything, right? And change the noun about the DOM element. Change the verb or run a verb about the DOM element. You should be able to do both. You should be able to get stuff and you should be able to set stuff. Okay, we're setting stuff right now. What did we get? This text. What did we set it to? This. I cannot stress this enough. Getting and setting are the key concepts to JavaScript. Okay, so we got that and that long-winded explanation there. All right, and then we can just wash, rinse, and repeat. Okay, so now we're going to go get this the target, and we're going to set the target to the, in this case, what do we set the target to? What is that thing? Paragraph. Okay, paragraph. All right. We can run those same console checks if we wanted to on the paragraph. Okay, so now that we got that, what we want to be able to do is add this thing called an event listener. Okay, an event listener has two methods. Okay, so first off, we want to make sure that we got this thing called console.log. Okay. And I'll get to the event lister in just a second. Okay, we're going to console.log out check. Okay, and of course right now check is going to run when? Check runs as soon as, right, the page loads. And we want to say is don't run check until I hit the button. Okay, great. So we know we're not going to run check. We're not to see annoyingly check until the button runs. Okay, all right. Colin, we're tired this morning. It's okay. And you're always talking in third person. All right, trigger dot. Oh, I always spelled that wrong. Add event listener. Okay. And this is one of the things that you can copy and paste, or you can use add event listener. Okay. All right. And this takes two arguments. Okay. The first argument is the type of event. Okay. Event type. Right. This could be single click, double click, triple click isn't there anymore. Hey Siri is an event. Okay. Good. I feel like I've given you parts of this lecture already. Yes? All my classes are blending together. All right. Okay. All right. So there's our type. Right. And then we have the method, right? The function that runs after all this. Okay. So if I click the type of event and then the stuff to do stuff. Okay. The resulting action. All right, now it's just syntax. This is all pseudocode. And if we understand this, we're good to go, right? So take this trigger, right? And and on that trigger, I want you to listen for an event, okay? And this belongs to JavaScript. Add event listener is pure JavaScript. Okay. And says what type of event? Well, in this case, click. Okay, it's in strings. All right, then we're going to go ahead and run a function inside of that. Okay, we're going to use the handy dandy Cool Kids arrow function. Other way around. Okay, all right. Again, no errors right now. So now where do I want to put my console.log? I want to put console.log check, and so I'm gonna paste back and forth if someone has an answer.
Curly brackets.
Corey, thank you. Right, we're going to take that and drop it right inside the curly brackets. And that's that order of execution. That's when we want it to run. Okay, so now if we refresh our page and we stare at it, I don't say, where's my check? Well, I only want it when I hit do stuff, right? So there's the first time I clicked it, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Okay, good. All right, so now what we want to do is say, hey, check is all fine, but now I want you to go ahead and change the paragraph. All right, so to do that, we have our target, okay? And on our target, we want to do this thing that is also a new ES6 thing, yeah. The short version is it's a node list, yeah. But really, what we want to do is toggle what? We want to toggle or add and remove this class, okay? This class right here. And so you would think that we could just come into here, right? And just go target dot. All right, so grab my target and toggle and just do this. Okay. So when we clicked on this, that would make sense. That makes complete sense semantically, right? Like go and grab this target and just toggle this this class of Go Coral. Right? Go Coral. No one caught this, right? Go Coral.
Sorry, I was wondering about that.
Yeah, thank you. All right, and we're gonna click this, and this should work, right? Like logically, this makes the most sense. But like anything in JavaScript, there's always another layer that we have to consider sometimes. So what I want you to do is hold on to this idea, okay? And really, what we're gonna have to do instead, right, is first run this method called classlist, and this is where we're gonna console.log out classlist. Okay. So we're going to take target.classlist, and let's go ahead and just console.log this out, just so we can see what is happening. And anytime you run into any of these issues, like these questions, like, well, this is how I expect it to work. Well, why is that the case? Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at this. Again, how come I don't see anything to my console? I have to click do this. And really what we're doing right here is setting a place for all of our classes to go. Okay. And when we get into more advanced JavaScript, this will begin to make more sense. Like that is my bridge one line explanation of this. And anytime you get into stuff like this, okay, just know that I'm giving it to you because like this will be used later on. Okay, good there? Okay. So what we're going to do is go ahead and grab this target, right? Find its property of class lists, which exists. And then what we're going to do is we're going to toggle this property, not this element, not this verb, right? I mean, this noun of class list, okay? And that toggle is the verb. So if we put the toggle on target, we're toggling the everything. Does that make sense? We're not toggling the paragraph, we're toggling the class. So we first have to select the class. With me on this one? Thumbs? Everybody? Smash down your space bar. Say Colin, it's too early for this stuff. How dare you make this class at 8 a.m.? I didn't make this class at 8 a.m. I'm not opposed to this class. All right. All right, now we can finally do Go Coral. And this should work now. That was a lot of talking to do this, right? This is basically your, go ahead and fork this pen, right? Go ahead and keep this one into your, right? Into your something, into your collections, your CodePen collections, right? You'll be referencing stuff like this, right? You're gonna be just selecting things and toggling a class, Okay. All right. How does this help me do my light mode, dark mode, right? Colin, I want to have light view, dark mode. No problem, right? Let's go ahead and talk about that. All right. We're clear on the practice, on the concepts. Okay. This was our practice. Now what we're going to do is take a look at our concept. All right. How can we actually do stuff with this? Okay. Let's do this. Here is the solution. Ooh, grid view, light mode, dark mode, light mode, dark mode. All right, let's go make this real fast. Toggle class of another element, check. All right, get rid of all that HTML, CSS. All right, how you can automate this even more. Let's see here, Mac OS system, dark mode. There we go. Right, and this is one of the things that someone figured out, is you can even hook into, right, your preferences inside of your first reduce motion. That's what I was talking about inside of that website, right? I basically said turn off all the animations, right? Turn off, like, have a higher color contrast, make all the elements bigger, including the text. Okay. And this is one of the accessibility things that you can do with this. But this is basically just hooking into, right, whatever you have set on your device. Okay. All right, dark mode people. Who out there runs in dark mode, right? Or on Mac or Windows. Okay.
Me.
Just we only have one dark mode per two. All right. All right, I'm old, so I'm still running in light mode. But whatever your preferences are, you can have people's websites be reduced to that. Because, all right, so Andy, Corey, I missed the other person who had dark mode. All right, isn't it weird that you're on you're running everything in dark mode, and you go to a website and it's like blah, like this, right? It's like this just hits you with like just all this white background, right? Isn't that jarring? Isn't that experience jarring? Or have you gotten used to it and you're like, I don't know what you're talking about? Yeah.
No, it's jarring.
So what we can do right now is say, hey, can we have our websites, if the user has turned their entire system onto dark mode, why can't my website automatically adjust to that? That's the future. All right. So designers, along with making, tablet, mobile tablet and watch size devices support, you're going to have to be supporting light mode and dark mode in the future. Okay. Someday you're gonna have to do this. You're gonna be like, oh man, I did that in class. Like, yeah, okay, we're getting ahead of this thing, right? So all this stuff is relatively new and it's a little bit buggy in some respects, but let's go ahead and do this. All right, let's get our content here. Okay, so we got our trigger here with our moon and our sun, right? Emoji, whatever that is. And then what we're gonna do, instead of changing just one single element, we're actually gonna toggle the class on the body. And those classes are gonna have our styling. So we're gonna get into the CSS part. And I'm just gonna copy and paste this in because this part is straightforward. All right, so what's going to happen here is we have our like I'm gonna turn off the transitions for just a second, okay, because we don't need them. All right, so we're going to have this class of dark, and when we apply the class apply a dark, it's going to go ahead and say find the H2, find the paragraph, and make them light gray. Then it's going to say grab the image and change the border to light gray. And we can do this by go ahead and just manually, right? So manually making a body. And I know CodePen makes this for us. That's why we love CodePen. So this is all it's doing. It's toggling this class of dark, and that's how we're getting dark mode and light mode. Okay, just toggling this class of dark. And the majority of our work is done in our CSS designers. Right? We just want this functionality. All you're saying to yourself is like, I need this functionality to toggle this off, and I will take care of the rest. Yeah. And if I turn that transition back on, you can see what happens as we're toggling on this class of dark. Good. All right. Any questions on the CSS part? None. All right. No questions. Don't lose the concepts this morning. Okay. I feel like we're losing the concepts. I know you just said, just show me how to do this. Showing you how to do it. Explanation is easy. Explanation is really, really easy. Understanding is very, very hard. And I want you to understand. Okay, so work on your understanding. Okay, so now we got that. It's going to be very, very similar to what we had before. Very, very similar. Okay. Ha 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 ha. Look at how similar that is. I'm telling you that you're going to be using this over and over and over again. All right. So similar, just to prove my point, I'm going to take the solution from the past pen and we're going to modify it. Okay. All right. So here's the solution on the past pen. What is our trigger? In this case, we have an ID of trigger. So it's going to be pound trigger. Okay. And then what are we changing? What's our target? Well, we're going to toggle the class of dark on the body, right? And how are we toggling this? On click. Right. We just click what? Click what? Click this ID of trigger. And what class are we toggling? Dark. Boom. This, once you understand this stuff goes fast, right? And what I was trying to do in 30 minutes is make sure that we understand it, because I can explain the code all day long. That's easy, right? The understanding is hard, y'all. Okay. All right, so to recap what's happening there, and there's other ones, right? Maybe in another class we'll do grid view, list view. It's that same thing here, list view, grid view. Okay, sometimes you want to give your users. Okay, all right, so this is great for your portfolio until you go to, so the upside to this is the user doesn't have a lot of stuff to look at, right? It's just all images. What's the downside to this? It's mystery meat. Okay, I have to guess, you know, what happens when I click into any of these thumbnails. Like, well, I think it's about trees, right? Or wait, is this about fog, or is this about mountains? Okay, and so if you go into this other view, right, I'll have the title and the description. Now, what's the downside to this? Well, you have to read the title, you have to read the description, right? So, pro, this is glanceable, right? You can quickly scan this. Con, right? The user might be wrong. Pro, right? You're giving the user a lot of information. Con, you're giving the user a lot of information. And designers, I need you to be able to look at any code, pen, UI pattern, or any UI pattern in general, okay, and see what is this the best solution for my problem. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing.